Serious people that woke up mid-surgery procedure. What happened?
I woke up in the middle of a pretty substantial tooth extraction one time. The procedure involved the removal of 8 teeth in total, my wisdom teeth and a few others. I was put under general anesthesia because of the amount of teeth I was having removed. I counted backwards from 100 and knocked out. But then I awoke out of nowhere in the middle of the procedure. I remember feeling an intense pressure, pulling sensation from the orthodontist trying to pull out one of my teeth. The worst part is that when I first awoke it felt something like sleep paralysis. I couldn't move no matter how hard I tried and had no way to signal to the orthodontist that I was conscious and could feel the pressure of the tooth extraction. Eventually I was able to move slightly and began to make a grunting noise that probably sounded crazy to everyone in the room. Me waking up wasn't routine cause I remember someone saying, "We need to get him back under now." Which they did in short order and the rest of the extraction went as planned. Not going to lie though, being awake, feeling the sensation of a tooth being pulled out of my gums, and being unable to say anything or move was one of the scariest experiences of my life.
Woke up during a colonoscopy, mine, and started asking questions about what was on the monitor. Zero discomfort or pain, I get why fentanyl is popular. One question too many, I guess. Anesthesiologist shut that sh*t down.
I don't remember it, but the nurses told me I woke up in major surgery and asked for my CD to be restarted as it had finished playing.
Was having hand surgery, heard myself saying woozily, "That's some manicure, they must have pumped on the gas pretty quickly," never got to elaborate.
Getting my wisdom teeth pulled, surgically removed. Woke up to string coming out of my mouth, pulled tight in the doctor's hands. Assume he was stitching something up. He saw I was awake and said, "You shouldn't be up yet." He looked to someone else that I couldn't see and said, "Push a little more," then looked back at me and waved, saying, "Nighty night."
Woke up in a tib/fib and femur op. Didn't feel a thing and there was a screen in front of my chin. I didn't say anything cause I couldn't feel anything. The docs noticed my heart rate spiked and they gassed me up more. I mostly remember reaching for one of the nurses' arm and hitting something connected to me. The docs/nurses put on a super calm voice and talked to me until everything kicked in. I didn't quite remember it until I talked to the surgeon later. He asked if I recalled anything and it kinda came back to me. Strange overall.
They put you back to sleep with some gas that makes it so you won't remember the pain.
I woke up and could feel the surgery, but it wasn't pain. Felt like tugging and the surgery took longer than planned for. It was not painful but a truly weird experience. They didn't want to knock me out again if I wasn't feeling pain. The anesthesia affects the nerves longer I guess than brain.
In Navy boot camp, I was getting my wisdom teeth taken out and had to be put under because of a large cyst under one of them, which also had to be removed. I didn't wake up but had anesthesia awareness. So basically, I couldn't feel anything but I also couldn't move. I could also hear the doctors talking. I remember them yanking my jaw around and being extremely rough, and also laughing and saying, "He'll blame the soreness on the wisdom teeth." I told people when I came out of it and got back to my division, but no one believed me because, well, I was a recruit and had no voice whatsoever. I'm still terrified to ever but put under again for anything more serious because I'm afraid it will happen again.
I am a surgeon and this happens much more than you might think. Through my first 2 years I've seen it happen about 12 times. We've been taught to put the patient back under anesthesia as soon as possible. I've spoken to some who woke up mid-surgery and only 2 have said they felt any pain, the others were fine.
I was told that I woke up during a procedure, but I don't remember it at all. Apparently I woke up, asked someone in the room how it was going, then they must have put me back under. I also woke up in recovery way earlier than they usually see someone wake and that kinda freaked them out a bit. So, either it's a relatively common occurrence, or the doctor was a stone-cold operator. All in all, not that bad.
I didn't wake up mid-surgery but I did wake up immediately post-surgery after getting a plate and pins in my ankle. I vividly remember slowly gaining consciousness, and immediate, agonizing pain. I started screaming and bawling my eyes out. Nurses rush into the room, try to give me a nerve block in my leg, but can't find the nerve so they're just poking around in my leg while I'm screaming bloody murder. I don't know if they ever got the nerve block done. I passed out from the pain. Next thing I know I wake up in a different room higher than a kite off of some sort of pain management meds and go home. They only sent me home with 800 milligrams ibuprofen too. After one night of crying myself to sleep from the pain, I went back and demanded actual pain pills. Got Percocet. I think I took them for 3 days and that was that.
I didn't fully wake up and I have no memory of this, but after my appendectomy, I woke to see my doctor, the surgeon, and 2 nurses standing over me looking worried. As it turned out, in the middle of the surgery, I woke up just enough to panic and pull the tube out of my throat. They put me under more heavily and put the tube back, but apparently it freaked them all out enough that they were in my recovery room waiting.
I woke up during my tonsillectomy when I was 12. I was numb, so no pain at all. I could feel the drips of blood in my throat. I could hear the doctors and nurses talking and I could hear the radio. They were listening to country music. It was quite traumatic. The day after, when I could finally speak, I told my mom what happened and she was in shock. She called the doctor's office and told him what happened. They said that I dreamed it and that it did not happen because they would have noticed.
I was technically awake during the whole procedure, which was planned. I was getting a blood clot removed from a major vein in my leg and I had to occasionally move for them to make it easier. I was drugged out of my beep eyeballs and numb from the waist down. At least I was until the tube in the vein accidentally hit the base of my spine, or somewhere in the area, and it was a part of me that hadn't been numbed. It was like I felt a slow electric shock go up my spine and through my whole body. That was probably because the pain literally hit the center of my nervous system or something. I was high as beep but aware enough to make a sound and cry silently for a moment. They noticed and I remember my head surgeon, who was an awesome dude, paused and said very angrily, "Could someone take care of her?" And a nurse asked me why I was crying, and I somehow managed to say, "Spine hurts," and they all kinda jumped in surprise and quickly got more of the meds. The pain went away, and I got much more drugged, which was nice.
Well, while you are supposed to be awake for cornea transplant surgery, your eye is numb. However, during this surgery on my left eye, I felt the cut into my old cornea. I said I felt it and the surgeon said, "You felt what?" I said I felt a sting like a cut and he did a few things and then started to cut again, and I said there it was again. So they had to give me a shot in my eyeball and that hurt. But I didn't feel anything else after the shot. It was very unnerving.
I actually have an answer for this one. I had to get knee surgery as I had chipped off a part of my kneecap and the doctor needed to go in and remove the bone. He was a pretty playful guy, obviously worked with kids a lot. When I was getting prepped he was asking if I wanted to see the bone when it was out, and me being 13 and thinking that was cool as hell said yes. I thought he was going to show the bone to me after the surgery. But he actually patted me awake while my leg was still open to show me the bloody piece of bone. I barely remember it and I pretty quickly fell back asleep. Honestly, I thought I was dreaming until I woke up later and he excitedly asked me what I thought of the bone piece. Cool guy.
They told me not to move and they are almost done with the stitches, so they didn't put me back under. I've never cried so much in my entire life.
Turned out that my body doesn't take to the gas method to go under. I woke up, screamed, then passed out. Doctors had to dose me with loads of whatever they used to stabilize me.
Thanks Reddit. Maybe I should cancel my hip surgery this Thursday.
GF did she grabbed their hand and they dosed her and she was out. Over been under like 4 times and never had the issue though. She does almost every time.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more quality content every day.